Again, good afternoon to all of you. We will continue to the remaining part from the electrochemistry. At the last, we just seen or explained Faraday's first law of electrolysis. After that one, consider to the Faraday's second law of electrolysis. Now, for this explanation, I will draw the figure. Then we will have the explanation about the Faraday's second law. Okay, we will have the figure first. Then we will make the explanation. Okay. So for our explanation of the Faraday's second law of electrolysis, consider here the figure. It is battery B. It is the somewhat rheostat to add is the resistance. It is somewhat key along the same. These two are the solutions or two half cells. So first one is the solution A, particularly solution B is there. So in this case, the two electrolytes are connected in series, just as shown in figure. Now what this law, in this particular case, if we pass here the same amount of electricity, if we pass same quantity of electricity is passed through the different electrolytes connected in series. Then what happens here? In this case, weight of the substance deposited always depends upon their chemical equivalents. So this particular statement generally called as the Faraday's second law of electrolysis. So in this particular case, when same quantity of the electricity passed through the different electrolytes connected in series, then amount of substance deposited is directly proportional to their chemical equivalents or their equivalent masses, like this. So this particular statement we generally call Faraday's second law of electrolysis. Now in this particular case, this is the solution A, it is the solution B. In this case, as a result of the electrolysis, deposition of the A is there over this electrode surface, deposition of B is there over this electrode surface. In this case, their masses are deposited always in the proportion of amount of electricity. If we pass the same electricity, there is no any concern of the electricity, but their deposition always depends upon their chemical equivalents. So in this particular case, equivalent weights decide the actual amount of the substance deposited if we pass same amount of electricity pass through the different electrolytes connected in series. So this particular statement we can say it as Faraday's second law of electrolysis. Now in this particular case, we will just review the same law, particularly in short like this. We can state the same statement in this fashion. The amount of substance deposited or liberated at respect to electrodes always varies directly proportional to the chemical equivalents when the same amount of electricity pass through these different electrolytes connected in series. So what is this statement? We generally call Faraday's second law of electrolysis. If someone wants to write the expression for this one, simply we can put up it as an equation like this. Check yourself. Here moles of A deposited in A half reaction divided by moles of B deposited in B half reaction is always equal to a mole ratio in A half reaction divided by mole ratio in B half reaction. In B half reaction, just like this. So this particular equation, we generally call it as a equation for Faraday's second law of electrolysis. So we can say here that when same amount of electricity pass through the different electrolytes connected in series, then amount of substance deposited varies directly proportional to their chemical equivalents, we generally call Faraday's second law of electrolysis. So in short, we can say here that whatever this Faraday's second law, we can write mathematically in this fashion. The weight of the substance, suppose W1 is there, varies directly with the chemical equivalent or equivalent weight E1 is there for the first one. In the same fashion, our amount of substance deposited at the electrode surface W2 is there, it again varies directly with the equivalent weight E2 is there. If we modify this equation for our convenience, we can write the same equation like this. W1 by W2 is equal to the E1 by E2. So this is the somewhat mathematical form of the Faraday's second law of electrolysis. So remember that in this case, when same amount of electricity is passed through different electrolytes connected in series, then amount of substance deposited always varies directly proportional to their chemical equivalent masses. So what is this statement? We generally call Faraday's second law. We can just write here equation in this fashion. Accepted. Now let us think here about this Faraday's law. What are the possible MCQ points? MCQ points काय असतील? याच्यात MCQ कसा असेल? Suppose here we will have the two electrolytes. Suppose silver nitrate is there, along the same zinc nitrate is there, or we can call it as a somewhat zinc sulfate is there. We will have two electrolytic solutions, zinc nitrate and silver nitrate and zinc sulfate. So if these two electrolytes are connected in series, solution A, suppose silver nitrate is there, solution B, suppose zinc sulfate is there. Now question is that if same amount of electricity is passed through the equimolar solution of these two electrolytes, which are the following shows mole deposition. So in this case, remember here that among these two, as per the Faraday's law, by passing same amount of electricity, the mole deposition is observed in case of that substance which is having more value of the equivalent weight. For our convenience, the equivalent weight of the silver is always 107.9. Here this one, along the same, in case of the zinc, it generally comes out as a 62.25, 31.25 gram, like that. So in this case, more depositions of the silver, less deposition of the zinc is there. It is decided simply from the chemical equivalent or their equivalent weights. So whatever the deposition always depends upon their equivalent weight or equivalent masses, if we pass same amount of electricity through their solutions. Okay, it is just the Faraday's second law of electrolysis. After this one, we have to come across to the very important concept, or what is the basic regarding the units of the charges. Particularly unit of the charge is there. Hey, what is the unit of the charge, or in which unit charge can be expressed? So for our convenience, it can be expressed in terms of two units. First one is the coulomb and second one is the somewhat Faraday. We can express here the charges in two units. First one is the coulomb and second one is the Faraday. Now how to explain this one here? So at the first, coulomb is there. Coulomb Q is equal to I into T is there. So this coulomb is the smallest unit of the charge. Coulomb is the smallest unit of the charge. It can be defined as, it is the amount of the current strength passed per 1 second, we generally call charge is there. So charge can be defined as, or coulomb can be defined as, the current strength in 1 ampere 1 second, we generally call somewhat Q is there, coulomb is there. So coulomb can be defined like this, the current strength in 1 second, or value amount of the current in 1 second, we generally call coulomb is there, first one. Now Faraday, very very important unit from the MCQ point of view. What is the Faraday now? So Faraday is the bigger unit of the charge. This Faraday is the bigger unit of the charge, or larger unit of the charge. It can be defined as charge present on 1 mole of electron, generally called as the charge present on 1 mole of electron, called Faraday. हे Faraday क्या होता है? हे Faraday का अर्थ है कि Faraday is nothing but it is the value of the charge present on 1 mole of an electron, 1 mole of the electron generally bearing a charge, the same charge we generally call somewhat Faraday. Okay. Now how that Faraday value comes or occurs, we will follow here the same explanation. In this case, if we think about the charge present on 1 mole of the electron, we think like this. Here in this case, charge on 1 mole electron is equal to 1.602 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. First one, charge is there. Along the same, whatever the value of the 1 mole electron, in the sense 6.022 10 to the power 23 is there. Okay. So these are the values here. So in this particular case, if we think about the charge on 1 mole of the electron, if we work out this one here, we can write the same equation like this. So Faraday is equal to charge on 1 mole of the electron 1.602 10 to the power minus 19 into total number of electrons 6.022 10 to the power 23. If you work out this one here, it comes it as a 965474 particularly coulomb, but for our convenience we write it as a real value as a 96,500 coulomb. So it is the value of the 1 Faraday is there. So charge present on 1 mole of the electron is always called as the 1 Faraday, and 1 Faraday is nothing but 96,500 coulomb or 96,500 coulomb. You have to remember here this parameter with reference to the exact value of the Faraday. So remember here the concept of the unit of the charge being coulomb as a small unit and Faraday is the bigger unit. 1 Faraday is nothing but it is the amount of the charge present on 1 mole of the electron, and the same charge comes it as a 96,500 coulomb, just represented like this. Remember this one. Okay. Along the same, again we are interested more in explaining the concept of somewhat 1 Faraday. Here 1 Faraday का असतं. We know 96,500 coulomb is 1 Faraday, no doubt. Okay. Now after that one, what is the actual definition? What is the other definition? Alternative form of this 1 Faraday. 1 Faraday is the amount of the charge which will deposit 1 gram equivalent of 1 gram equivalent of material, which will deposit or which will liberate 1 gram equivalent of the material from its solution, we generally call somewhat 1 Faraday. So 1 Faraday is nothing but it is amount of the charge which will deposit 1 gram equivalent of the material, we generally call somewhat 1 Faraday. So we have to follow this one here. म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस 1 Faraday असेल तर त्याची व्हॅल्यू ही 1 gram equivalent लिबरेट झाला असेल. Suppose here we will have the somewhat magnesium is there, magnesium chloride solution is there, and we pass the amount of electricity 1 Faraday. So what is the amount of the magnesium deposited? Amount of magnesium deposited is exactly gram equivalent of that one, and therefore it will liberate 12.0 gram of the magnesium by passage of the 1 Faraday electricity. So this particular concept we have to remember from the MCQ point of view or from any competitive exam point of view. Remember here the concept of the Faraday and its proper explanation regarding the different values and its applications. Okay, after this one, let us follow here to the quantitative aspects of Faraday's law. Quantitative aspects of Faraday's laws of electricity or electrolysis. Laws of electrolysis. Quantitative aspects of Faraday's laws of electrolysis. हे काय असतं हे? How it is applicable? How it is responsible to make the calculation? So at the first, we can work out here amount of the charge. We can work out by using Faraday's law is equal to Q is equal to I into T is there, where I is the current strength, T is the time. So we'll have the somewhat Coulomb, particularly it is expressed in terms of Coulomb. Charge is there first. Number second, we have to work out the moles of electrons. So moles of electrons from the given charge can be given like this is equal to Q by 96,500, or we can write it as a I into T divided by 96,500 per mole is there. So moles of electron is there. Second thing is there. Okay. After that one, we have to work out a moles of substance deposited or liberated. Moles of substance deposited or liberated, we can write like this. Here a moles of electrons into a mole ratio is there. Now what is this mole ratio? Very simple one. A mole ratio is nothing but is equal to number of moles formed in half reaction divided by number of moles of electron transferred or shifted during that reaction. So moles of electrons, particularly moles of electrons shifted or transferred, and number of moles of product form, number of moles of A form in half reaction divided by moles of electron transferred in the same reaction. It is somewhat mole ratio is there. And at the last, we have to work out here the amount of substance. Amount of substance deposited is equal to moles of the substance, moles of given substance into its molar mass is there. Like this. So for like this. So by using this equation, we can easily work out here anything, any parameter from the given thing. So once again, amount of charge we can work out by using this equation. Q is equal to I into T is there. First, moles of electron we have to follow Q by 96,500 Coulomb. The same is there per mole. Then mole of the substance we can write like this. Moles of electron into mole ratio is there. What is the mole ratio? Mole ratio is nothing but number of moles formed in half reaction divided by moles of electron transferred in the same reaction. म्हणजे जितके नंबर ऑफ मोल्स तुमचे फॉर्म होतील तितकेच किती इलेक्ट्रॉन्स शिफ्ट झाले ट्रान्सफर झाले ते चेक करणं आणि शेवटी अमाउंट ऑफ सबस्टन्स बरोबर मोल्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रो सबस्टन्स इनटू molar mass is there. By this way we can easily work out here whatever the amount of substance deposited during the process of electrolysis by using somewhat Faraday's law. Okay, now we will use here the same equation, same form in a single equation with a slight elucidation. We have to come across to the reaction. Suppose in this case, suppose for our convenience a reaction is given like this: zinc gives Zn plus 2 along with the 2 electrons are there. Now we have to work out the amount of the zinc deposited in this reaction. How to work out here? Here use the equation like directly. Amount of zinc is equal to I into T divided by 96,500 into mole ratio into molar mass of zinc is there. Now which thing is not given to us? I current strength is given, time interval is given. Now we have to work out here a mole ratio from above reaction. How to work out mole ratio? Mole ratio बरोबर वरच्या रिएक्शनचा आपण मोल रेशो काढू शकतो. वी कॅन इझिली वर्क आउट मोल रेशो बरोबर काय फॉर्म्युला आहे? मोल्स ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट फॉर्म इन हाफ रिएक्शन, number of moles of product form in half reaction is 1. Along the same, moles of the electron transferred are shifted. 2 electrons are there, 2 is there. In this case, mole ratio is half. By putting all these values, we can work out here amount of zinc. So it is the quantitative aspects of Faraday's laws of the electrolysis. For the second law, we can just know the moles of any reactor product by comparing it with the mole ratio. That's a very simple one, particularly for the Faraday's second law of electrolysis. Check yourself. For the Faraday's second law, we can write the quantitative aspect like this: a moles of A in half reaction, divided by moles of B in half reaction is equal to a mole ratio in A half reaction divided by mole ratio in B half reaction. Now by using this one, we can easily work out here what are the things which is to be asked in examination. It is just about the Faraday's first and second law of electrolysis, particularly quantitative aspects, and actually the concept of the unit. Okay. After that one, let us follow to the what is the actual introduction about the voltaic cell, or we may call it as a galvanic cell, like this. Voltaic cell or galvanic cell. हे काय असतं? About this we have to study now in a proper way. What is the voltaic cell? What is the galvanic cell? Now in this particular case, we know here the definition. The cell or the device which converts chemical energy into the electrical energy as a result of spontaneous chemical reactions, we generally call voltaic cell or the galvanic cell. हा एक सेल आहे की जो इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी केमिकल एनर्जीचं कन्वर्शन इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जीमध्ये करतो. द सेम एनर्जी, the same conversion taking place as a result of spontaneous chemical reactions. The same cell, the same device, we generally call voltaic cell or galvanic cell. Now how these names are? These names are just derived from the term Alessandro Volta. This cell is devised at the first by scientist Alessandro Volta. Therefore, in the memory of that scientist, we named it as a voltaic cell. It is used mainly by the scientist Galvani, and hence the name is the galvanic cell. As this cell produces electric current, electricity, therefore it is also known as the electrogenic cell. So this particular cell also called as the electrogenic cell, as it produces electric current, as it generates electric current, called as the electrogenic cell. Okay. Now here under this head, we have to explain some terms. Particularly first one, what is the meaning of the primary voltaic cell? A very simple terms. Primary voltaic cell. Second one is the secondary voltaic cell. Secondary voltaic cell. Third one is the reversible type of the cell. A reversible type of the voltaic cell, and irreversible type of voltaic cell. Now what are this one here? Their examples are to be asked in MCQs. We have to remember this one here. Study first, what is the primary voltaic cell? the device which can generate an electric current and its own concentration without any external help. The same cell we call as a प्रायमरी व्होल्टाइक सेल. मग हा सेल आहे हा की जो सेल स्वतःची एनर्जी स्वतःच प्रोड्यूस करतो बाय टेकिंग हेल्प ऑफ एनी अदर सेल, एनी अदर डिव्हाइसेस वी जनरली कॉल्ड एज अ प्रायमरी व्होल्टाइक सेल. The device which can generate an electric current, which can generate electricity and its own concentration without any effort, without any support. The same cell we call as a primary voltaic cell. Under this head, we have to come across the example as a Daniell cell is there. Daniell cell, first one. The secondary voltaic cell, the cell which cannot produce an electric current on its own concentration, but it is previously stored from any external source, known as the secondary voltaic cell. Secondary voltaic cell is the device which cannot produce an electric current on its own concentration, but it is previously stored from any external source, which generally called secondary voltaic cell. Example is very favorite one, particularly a lead storage battery. A lead storage cell, just a minute, particularly we can call it as a lead storage battery. Lead storage battery, it is the secondary voltaic cell is there. Secondary voltaic cell, because this cell cannot generate an electric current on its own concentration. It is generally charged. It is previously stored from an external source. Secondary voltaic cell is there. Okay. What is the reversible type of this cell? The cell whose cell reactions can be easily reversed by applying slightly high potential than the cell potential, we generally call a reversible type of the cell. So in this case, example we can write it as again somewhat Daniell cell is there, particularly a dry cell is there. Example of the reversible cell. Okay, particularly Daniell cell is there, reversible cell. After that one, what is the irreversible cell? It is the voltaic cell or the galvanic cell whose cell reactions can never be reversed if we apply the potential slightly higher than the cell potential. We generally call it as a irreversible type of the voltaic cell. We have this one here. So in this case, remember here that irreversible type of the voltaic cell is the device in which cell reactions can never be reversed by applying slightly high potential as compared to the cell potential. We call it as a irreversible type of the voltaic cell. Accepted. Now in this case, example is very familiar, popular one, ड्राय सेल इज देअर. आपण पाहतो की घरी वॉचचा सेल किंवा बॅटरीचा सेल जर घेतला असेल तर तो सेल खूप काळ काम करत नाही. आफ्टर सम टाइम आफ्टर इट्स वर्किंग वी हॅव टू थ्रो दॅट वन हिअर. इट कॅन नेव्हर बी चार्जड. सो दॅट पर्टिक्युलर सेल जनरली कॉल्ड ॲज द irreversible type. So for our basic knowledge in concerning with the voltaic cell or the galvanic cell, it is just essential to know what is the primary type of the cell, second type of the cell, reversible type of the cell or irreversible type of the cell. Remember this one here. Okay, so these are the somewhat type of the cells. We have to remember the examples especially from the MSQ point of view. After that one we will introduce to the very important cell, very important device type of the voltaic cell, particularly that is the somewhat Daniell cell.